He was wearing this. When I started hating Mike Ribeiro, he was wearing this jersey. Different neckline back then. Didn't have the NHL logo there, but he was a Canadian. And he dove. It was against Boston in the playoffs, and he dove. And the referee bought it, called a penalty, and Ribeiro smirked all the way to his bench. So began my hatred of Mike Ribeiro. Now, Mike Ribeiro apparently set to retire. And retirement is the ending of one career, and it's usually the start of something else. Especially now, it seems like NHL players, for the most part, are ready for life after hockey. Most of them. For the ones that aren't, it can be really, really tough. Now, you factor in Mike Ribeiro's known substance abuse issues. And for it to be known you have a substance abuse issue in NHL circles, it has to be bad. Because substance abuse issues are not uncommon in any sport. And I'm not just talking about the NHL. But fans in general have always speculated on certain players. You know, this one's been seen at this bar or that bar. And we get into the gossip side of things. Ribeiro's not even that. He's beyond that. It's out there. Everybody knows. His agent said not one NHL team or European team has reached out to him. And that's where things get a little more serious because think about it. How many guys are there right now playing in the NHL that or right now playing in the NHL who could not play in the NHL? Europe is filled with them. The European leagues have a lot, and I agree with it. If you're a player who's fallen behind the game, if you've fallen behind the game, or whatever made you a star player is gone. You go to Europe, you're going to play a 50-game schedule. It's going to be an easier schedule in terms of travel. They pay for everything. Guys go over to Europe, and I know there's people who mock them, kind of. You see it. You'll see so-and-so's gone to Europe. Whether it's on TSN Sportsnet or message board, you'll see, no loss there. That's where they all go to die. You can have a pretty good career in Europe. Because they take care of everything. Basically, it's, you sign this contract, we will take care of everything. You're not going to have to worry about a thing. We'll have everything else taken care of. It's not bad. And I only know that from a former coworker of mine. Her best friend went over to Europe with her boyfriend, and that was the experience they had. And she said it was just great for them because he had everything taken care of. So, I can understand why players do that. Mike Ribeiro is a guy who, when healthy and at his best, could score 50, 60, 70 points in a season. Not one European team reaches out. And it says a lot about how, even in that league, whether it's the German league, the Swedish league, Finnish league, they're all saying, nah, we've heard about this guy. He's fallen off the wagon. Apparently, according to articles I've read, and I read a few of them, his agent hasn't even heard from him since the season ended. His agent was telling him, you need to get back into the NHL substance abuse program. And told reporters this. Now, A, I'd probably be firing my agent for laundering publicly like that. And B, the fact that he never came out and said anything after, that's not good either. Whether I like or dislike a guy, doesn't matter. I wish nothing bad on Mike Ribeiro. I was asked this on Twitter yesterday, and I thought, I'll just leave it. I'll make a response on Twitter, and I'll just leave it. But there are a lot of articles out there right now about Ribeiro and his retirement. Which, I'm not sure how this is going to work, because his retirement basically is forced. Getting demoted from the NHL last year had to be humiliating. Passing through waivers, and then his stats in the American League weren't good either. So clearly he wasn't with it. My guess is, and I hate to do this, this is where the speculation comes in. My guess is he had fallen off the wagon before the end of the year. And that it was affecting his game in the American League. Because let's be honest, even Ribeiro, haters like myself have to admit, in the AHL he should still be a point-a-game player. It's just sad. And there's a line, and I've said this before, with some fans, their hatred of a player goes so far that even when they're in this kind of a bind, they go, good, couldn't happen to a better person. I don't do that. And I'm not going to do that here. And, if I could talk to Mike Ribeiro right now, I would. Straight up admit, dude, I can't stand you on the ice, but get it together off the ice. Do it for people who care about you in your life. There's people who are worried. Just, the bottom of a bottle isn't going to fix things, because at the end of that bottle, there's another one waiting. As a kid, I watched what that can do to a person. I had, my father was an alcoholic. It's the reason why, if you see me in a video and I've been drinking, I've had one. And I stop at one. In my 20s, I used to get drunk once in a while, but if I felt like there was a habit forming, I stopped. This is true. I started going bar hopping a little bit when I was 22 or 23, so I went out and got myself a kitten. Because I knew, if I have a cat at home, I'm not going to want to go to the bar. Especially if it's a little fluffy little white ball, and he's just, making his way around the apartment and finding stuff. And so I got him on a Friday night. After work on Friday, I went to the mall. This is when pet stores were everywhere. And I got this little kitten. I brought it home. My buddy calls me and goes, hey, you want to go to the bar? And I said, I'm sorry, I'm busy tonight. And I watched that little kitten all night, and him just, investigating the apartment and finding all this stuff that I had tried to baby-proof, and he proved I hadn't. So I got out of it. So hopefully Mike's able to get out of it, because it's very easy to slip into it. The only reason I didn't slip into it is because I knew what my dad had gone through. I knew what it had cost my father, financially, personally, professionally. So when I see somebody going through this, and all they've said is substance abuse, and the only thing that I've seen is alcohol, and I don't care about the rest. I don't want to hear any speculation about the rest, because that's not what's important. Mike's young enough to turn this around and get his life straightened out. Hockey is hockey. This is about life. And it's more important than hockey. So it is my heartfelt belief that there's always good there. There's always a chance somebody will turn it around. So I hope that's the case. If he's not going to talk to his agent, I hope he's talking to somebody. Doesn't have to be Sportsnet, doesn't have to be TSN, certainly. But I hope he's talking to somebody. Because I've watched a number of players deal with depression, which leads to the substance abuse. I've dealt with depression my whole life. It's something that, even though I've had this great last year and all these amazing things are happening, I still have to keep those wolves at bay at all times. It is very easy to fall into that. That was Shadow. That was not a ghost. So, I guess in closing, whether I like or dislike a player doesn't matter. I've seen what this kind of crap can do to a person's life, and I hope he straightens it out. So, I'm not going to pretend that Mike Ribeiro is going to see this, because he's not. But, my heart goes out to him. Really does. And I know I've heard all kinds of crap about him, and you know what? People do a lot of stupid crap. My dad did all kinds of stupid crap. And right up until the day he died, if he had called me, I would have talked to him. If he had genuinely done his best to improve himself and get everything right, I would have talked to him. The only reason I didn't talk to him is even after he gave up the substance he had been drinking, he still had that behavior. And he couldn't let go of, and he couldn't take ownership for the things he'd done. It still became, yes, I did this, but I did it because this person did that first. No. Take ownership for your actions, take your responsibilities, take your lumps. And if Mike Ribeiro does that, there are people there who care about him. There has to be, because everybody has people that care about him. So it's a horrible way for a career to end. And I really hope that, much like Theoren Fleury, we look back on this as more of an inspirational learning experience than say, oh, poor guy. And we can do that with Theoren Fleury. We can do both. And Theoren Fleury still is kind of a prick when you talk to him about the Canucks because he hates them. But, you know, I give Theoren Fleury full marks for the fact that he got it together. And he was willing to be open and tell everybody and use this as a learning experience. And Theoren Fleury would be a perfect person for Mike Ribeiro to reach out to. So if he won't reach out to his agent, and if no teams are calling him, he should be talking to other former players who've been where he is. Because we know where this can end. And no matter how much you dislike somebody, you don't want to be hearing, so-and-so's taken their life, they were 46. What a shame. You don't want to be hearing it. So, hopefully he gets the help he needs. And I wish him the best. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.